Okay, it is 7:06. I will call the meeting to order. And I'll wait on Bill to see if there's any guests waiting.
You're okay to start. There's some people coming in.
There are some people coming in. But you don't know if they want to speak or they just want to listen in or.
If it's public comment time, we can ask them to speak. If you'd like to make a comment, you can press the raise hand button at the bottom of your screen or press *9 if you're on the phone.
Okay, because it is public comment time if someone wishes to make a comment.
It doesn't look like anybody wishes to make a comment.
Okay, then we will proceed. We will close the public comment. Call the meeting back to order and move on to acceptance of minutes. Do we have any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes of March's monthly meeting? I have one, and I have to look for it here. Yeah, Laura, down on the second page under new business, we have 1, 2, the third paragraph. It says both Mr. Bellows and Mr. Paris are aware of anything that specifically prohibits smoking. There should be or not in there.
That's what I meant.
Does anyone have anything else? Okay. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes of March's monthly meeting? Bill, second. Ed, all in favor?
I have to abstain. I was not
Okay,
here.
so moved. Okay, correspondence. I have not gotten any correspondence this past month. Laura did not either. Dee, nothing.
Nothing.
Okay, no correspondence. Old business. And we have any old business they need to bring up?
Well, did we have anything on that comedy reach out that you were gonna do, Dee?
Yes. We finally were able to, am I on?
Yeah.
Sorry. But we were finally able to start putting together our schedule. So we reached out to Joe, let him know what times were available. Looks like right now the only thing that would be able to be worked out up there would be on a Sunday, midday. And I believe Rec Office and Joe are putting together a series of dates that he would be able to supply talent and that we currently have open. Just looks like it would be the one day. A lot more things going up there than we've had in the past. So
Was he trying to do the 2 performances on the same day like he had originally spoke of?
yeah, but that ultimately would have been a little bit more disruptive. So we were giving priority to any of our athletic requests first and foremost. So we would definitely have some activities in the mornings, and that would be problematic because we'd be taking out all of that time. And Saturdays are completely out of the question. So 2 back-to-backs wouldn't work, or a very long day wouldn't work either. So as we said, we were going to try to find a space, and if there is, then it would be certainly available. And that's really all that we had at this particular time.
Okay,
I'll update the commission when we have something finalized.
anyone else under old business?
Kevin, just a brief update on the, I guess it's the addition to the Vietnam Memorial Site.
Yeah, good.
It's for the post-Vietnam era. Dimitri and George Wiles, an architect who's got a lot of experience and expertise in this area, came out to the site, gave us a lot of great guidance and shared their thoughts with us. They talked to the committee that's been put together, so we were able to give them our ideas. So George is going to take the lead on putting together some designs for us to look at. And we'll keep this committee updated because we'll eventually come back to you all for final approval. And the other aspect, of course, is raising money for the memorial that will go in. And we've got a good start on those efforts. So you'll probably see some public outreach in that regard in a number of different avenues here pretty soon. Trumbull Times, social media, things like that. So it's moving along.
Thanks, Bill. Do you have a specific outfit or firm that's going to be doing the work?
Well, I think that's to be determined. I'm not sure if George actually just gives us his ideas and then we select someone to do it, or if he actually does it or helps us select the folks who will actually do the work. But more to follow because we've shared our ideas with him, and he's going to get back to us with his recommendations and suggestions and things like that. So, and I know Dimitri and his team are doing some work in the area too. So it's probably a combination of both.
Okay. Thank you. Ken?
Sure.
Bill, I had a question with regard to the memorial itself. Is this to replace the structure that was damaged by that accident? Or is it going to be in a different location than where the existing one is, or the remnants of it?
Yeah, it won't replace it, Ken. It's going to be like, if you're standing on the road looking at it, it'll be to the right of it. There's some empty area over there. So I think the Vietnam memorial is going to be fixed. And then this post-Vietnam memorial will be to the right of that, in conjunction with all the other work that Dimitri and his team are doing to, there's an arch going over the bridge and a lot of great things going on. So it's really going to be nice.
And Dimitri, because of that accident, was someone cited for that? Was there any insurance that the town has been able to claim because of the damage to the Vietnam memorial that could maybe be applied towards Bill's memorial?
No, as it is right now, it's just a direct replacement for the damages. Yes, somebody was cited for the damages. They were able to pick up the vehicle on one of the tower cameras, and so we pursued an insurance claim with them, and we're in the process of having the existing memorial replaced, and it'll hopefully be replanted completely by Memorial Day. That's our goal.
Thank you.
Yep.
I have a question about the program director position. I'm wondering if there's an update there.
No, I know it's slogging along, but it nothing. We have not received the second recruitment list to even begin interviews for that, unfortunately.
I know there were 29 applicants from that second round. Tom is going through them, Mary Ann is going through them, and as soon as they have gone through all 29, they will meet and compare notes and come up with the list from there. So I will check in with Tom tomorrow. He's in his office tomorrow and see where he is on it, because he's had them for a while.
Yeah. Is the deadline closed?
Dimitri,
Is the
behave.
deadline closed for any additional applications, or for the position?
Yes,
Yes, that's closed.
it closed. uh,
December?
No, the
No?
second recruitment closed 8 weeks ago.
I mean, this is really somewhat unacceptable. We've had applications in there for this period of time. We're coming into the busiest season of the year. I hope that something can happen to streamline this process rather quickly.
I agree with you, but there's several positions that are out there and there's 2 people in HR to go through them. So, it's a horizontal priority list, Ken. That's
I
what it
understand.
boils down to. But
Yeah.
I've been on Tom about this one more than any other position. So I will be back at it tomorrow and hopefully Dimitri will have a list quickly.
Can I laugh now?
No,
Is there, when the decision is being made by 2 people, I mean, is there any additional help, or is there a committee that could be formed to help with this process to move it along?
I don't know. We've talked about that. There is a civil service commission that approves the positions. I don't know, the thing is, everybody's got to go through all 29. It's not like I can give 5 to one person, 5 to another person. You've got to see all of them in order to rate them and rank them. So it's not, they're not starting at 8 in the morning and going till 5, going through applications. There's a lot of other work. And unfortunately, with the COVID, they are working opposite each other. They're not even in the office together. So it makes for a long process for all positions. And in the meantime, and Marianne is setting up other testing for other, nothing got filled over the last year. So there are several positions. They were bogged down with all the EMS because we went from a service providing the EMS people to hiring all our own EMS people. That took a good amount of time, but the applications are there, and I will check tomorrow and see. As a matter of fact, I'll check right now.
Thank you, Kathy. Dee, again, getting back to recreation, I know that your department and the recreation department, as Kathy's just alluded to, is just backed up and stacked, with a lot of additional work. And my question is there any adjustment that's going to be made in, let's say, the fee schedule for the use of the parks, let's say, not necessarily for residents, but for like out of town users of the pool, of the recreation programs? I mean, I've noticed in different communities like Westport and Fairfield where their beach fees have gone up significantly for out of town users. And I'm just wondering if the same idea should be talked about or discussed or maybe implemented to increase our revenue because of the strains that we have on these departments.
I'm certainly not opposed to that, but trying to compare like a beach fee versus programming fees are very different for us. We have some obstacles with our stickers, parking, having to allow certain kinds of activities within our park systems because of some of the grants and installations that we have. So it's not, a straightforward as we want to try to make a little bit more revenue off of non-residents, because there just isn't as many opportunities to do so. For example, we're not taking, opportunities for people to come into our pools. That isn't going to happen. That doesn't happen. And this year will be better than last, but certainly is, not, availing ourselves from getting people to come in as if they would want to go to a beach. all that's really left are various programs. What we do is we currently provide a reduced rate for all of our Trumbull residents, and then of course we have a larger cost to non-residents so that we could fill out those programs when necessary. But if you have any specific suggestions, be more than happy to take them and review them. But right now, I don't know really where that would be off the top of my head.
Well, yeah, I don't mind researching it a little bit further. I mean, the idea is generally just to get more revenue source into the departments that we need to maintain let's say at least the same, try to maintain at least the same level of service that we've given in the past. You know, we talked about the comedy club just recently, and this fellow hasn't gotten back to you, but quite honestly, you know, a venue like that, or an event like that, excuse me, at one of our venues, he's an out-of-town resident. My question is, you know, and that I would think constitute a lot of care and overwatch, you know, by the Rangers and other people because of crowds. So with that, I would think that a fee schedule should be adjusted to compensate for the extra time that's needed.
I think I think you could actually adjust the actual fee structure around a lot of the rental of the parks or even pavilions. A lot of that stuff actually is starts with the commission. I really was only referring to the things that were in my direct control, such as, you know, a basketball program or swim lessons. But if we want to review the cost to rent a park, for example, or any of those things, absolutely. Let's take a look at that, a hard look at that. We can even do a little bit of research ahead of our next meeting and see what other communities are renting for similar size events or activities, and see whether or not we are even, you know, within the ballpark. Sure.
I don't mind taking the charge for that, and I'll report back at the next meeting.
That'd be great. No, I think, I mean, you know, the fee for renting Indian Ledge for something like the comedy show is $1,500. That's really not a lot. Not so. Yeah, by all means, let's look into it.
Will do.
Thanks.
I don't have
Hey, we're still on old business. If anybody has anything under old business. I just had one thing, just going through the minutes. It says Teapot drafted a proposal and provided to Teapot. Teapot would like to align the smoking vaping policy with the alcohol policy that exists for the town parks. Teapot has drafted a proposal and provided to the town attorney for review. Mrs. McGannon will follow up at the town attorney meeting. The commission agreed to table the discussion pending further guidance and information. Kathy, have you heard anything?
Yes, Dan Chopik said that the easiest way for you to do it is just to expand your current smoking policy. Instead of saying within 50 feet or 100, or however it is, just to say, word it in a way that it prohibits smoking and vaping in the parks.
Okay. I think with us being down 3 members, I think that's something that we want to discuss with a full crew here.
Not a bad idea.
I agree.
Okay, so there was no specific language or anything else adopted from just
No,
there's that policy 15-9C, and then we would just
amend it.
override that or amend it.
Yeah. He said depends on, you know, the commission, how they want to word the policy, the park system, you know, how you want to word it. For the most part, you're hoping that people will just abide by a new regulation, and most people probably will. And then you'll have those that will fight you on it, or but most people I think will, you know, I'm in the parks all the time with my grandchildren, and I don't see anybody smoking anywhere near the park. I don't see them smoking, walking the paths. I think they don't go well together. People are walking for exercise and walking for health. So, you know, I don't see it in the areas that I'm at, the fields or whatever. I don't know about the rest of the park.
What I was going to say is, if this is the direction the commission wants to pursue, I'd like to give Steve Chapman a crack at drafting, some new verbiage on this for consideration, so that it would be consistent with the rest of the language we have within our policies. You know, he's done a really good job and was integral in crafting a lot of the stuff that we currently have right now. So with your permission, I'll be more than happy to bring this to him and see what he can come up with and see what you guys want to do with that language or modify it by the next meeting.
I think that's a very good idea because Steve and his department would be enforcing whatever regulation would be adopted or change in the regulation.
Exactly.
Agreed.
And then I think if you want the town attorney to look at what you finalize to make sure that it's legal and you're not tripping yourself up anywhere, then he can look at what you propose and give his opinion on it. But the idea itself does not have to go to an ordinance, doesn't have to go to the town council. It would just be a modification or an expansion of your existing policy that bans smoking and vaping in parts of your parks.
Kathleen, as you were saying, excuse me, some people obviously they're exercising in the parks and things like that, but also like their kids are playing sports or something like that, and if they decide they're gonna vape, like so they can't be shown or something like that, that's kind of also a problem. When I was coaching some teams or whatever, I've coached like 3 teams by now. I've had to like move parents or something. I've had to stop games to move parents. That's just like that's a huge problem. Besides, obviously, like health wise,
Yeah.
but it's an embarrassment. It's
Enforcement is tough. It's like
Yeah.
dogs on leashes, off leashes. The enforcement part of it is tough. So you kind of hope that the public pressure to
Correct.
conform,
yeah.
you know, gives you the most cooperation because it is tough to enforce.
Yeah.
No, that sounds correct, Kathy, and I think that's why Dimitri has a good idea with Steve coming up with the language, because he's going to be the enforcement, method, he and his crew.
Right.
Is everyone okay with that?
Yes.
Okay. All right, anything else under old business? Okay, moving on to new business. Any new business? What we can do, if there's no specific new business that the commissioners want to pick up, Dee, we could just dovetail that right into the superintendent's report. And if you have anything new that you want to bring up, you can just add it into your reporting.
Nothing earth-shattering other than what I've reported thus far. If the commission has any specific questions for me, I'd be more than happy to address them.
Could you expound a little bit on what type of damage was done on the Madison field?
Yeah, it was, like the classic donutting, tore up a bunch of turf, did some damage to some of the irrigation heads. Well, it is what it is. I would say that it could have been much, much worse. We were fortunate in that it was a relatively dry spell prior to them getting out there.
so they weren't really able to get very deep. So a lot of the areas aren't going to require heavy fill and regrading. So we've already, I would say that we've already conducted remediation on better than 75% of it already. We've got the irregularities taken out of it. The irrigation system has been repaired. And like I said, about 75% of it has been aggressively aerated and punch seeded. And that was all that's really going to be required for that. One area, two areas, it was much more aggressive and deep. So we're just waiting for now we need some dry weather, unfortunately, to come in there. We're gonna have to do regrading and classic reseeding. But we're gonna try to push that as quickly as we can to try to get that area germinated out. I think that we'll be able to get soccer back on it even before those other areas have germinated out. I think the greater majority of the space would still be able to sustain one of the the 9v9 size soccer field that they really are in desperate need of. So we can sort of like tuck it toward corner and with less impact to the soccer program. And hopefully people will stay off the areas that we've made the repairs to. So, but in the meantime, we're making arrangements for them on Ketchel. We're putting fields within fields. So when one group is playing in one area, another group might be playing in another on a different day. But yeah, unfortunately, they did some damage, and we're waiting for the Board of Education has been put on notice to replace the security gates in that area that were taken out when they did the paving program there. I think we're looking at about 4 years ago. That's how they got in there.
Okay, thanks.
Question.
Ken?
Yeah, I just thought about this. Are there any planned events at the parks or the Trumbull Town Hall Green for Memorial Day?
Well, there's one that's tentative at Indian Ledge. Isn't that right, McGee?
No, we moved it.
See how much I know? Nothing.
I am actually working 2 events, hoping that one of them will happen. I am working on a parade. Governor said the other day that parades can happen with he hasn't sent any guidelines out. So I've called around. Shelton is planning theirs, but said it would be a very short parade. Monroe just decided that they will work on a parade. Fairfield is planning one with their finger on the cancel button. So people are trying. So I am going to see if I can pull a parade together. My concern is the bands being able to, they haven't played together in a year. They haven't marched at all. Hoping to be able to pull off the parade. If the parade can't happen because of restrictions, then I have reserved the football field at the high school to do a ceremony up there. The ceremony that would be at Town Hall will be up at the football field. So there's a lot more space up there. The bands could play in fixed position, and people could social distance in the bleachers, and be some speeches in honor our, who would have been the Grand Marshal. So I'm running a parallel course at this point. There will be the wreath laying, the regular wreath layings at the Vietnam Memorial and at Town Hall, but then the ceremony itself and the speakers would move to the football field unless we're able to have a parade, which might also be short.
Did I give you that permit for the football field?
No, I got it from Mike King.
Mike King doesn't give that permit.
I was told I'd go through Mike King's office, and I already spoke to him and he reserved it for me.
Incorrect.
Why do you get, well, I'll fight with you tomorrow.
It's outside. It belongs to me. If he wants to go kick a ball, he can do it.
Well, then get me a permit for the football
Nah,
field.
Absolutely not. Get me a program manager.
Can we do this tomorrow on our daily 5 calls a day? I'll
Come
fight with
on.
you then. Give me
Yeah.
the football field. I've already got Dan Newman, so I need the field.
You bet. Uh,
Really do the football field?
yes, of course.
It's not what I was told.
They're liars.
All right.
Go look at our program. Go look at the calendar. You know, the rec calendar.
So
Actually-
yes, to answer the question, there will be something on Memorial Day.
Yeah.
Some of it may hinge on Dimitri and some of it may not.
I'll
But
put that
we'll
out
do
for you.
something. We'll do something.
I mean, if there's pushback because of the football field, I guess there's always Indian Ledge, Kathy.
Well, that's where I originally was going, and Dimitri was allowing me to go to Indian Ledge. But there's not enough parking, and with that parking lot torn up, the kids in the bands would have to be driven there by parents. There's just not enough room for them. So that's why we moved it to the football field, which Mike King gave me permission to use.
Okay, we'll end it there.
All right.
No, it'll continue tomorrow, trust me.
Oh, it will.
Yeah, but at least we won't be involved.
That's
All
right.
right.
That's
I'll
right.
send you a text.
Lucky you.
All right, anything else, Dee, that you want to bring up besides things that are in your report?
No, anything, again, if there's anything specific that the commission needs info on, if I have it, I'll give it to you or find it.
I'm good.
Okay. No one else? The park ranger report you have. And that's about it, unless someone has something else they want to bring up. No? All right, so Ken, you're gonna work on checking with towns to see some of their fees?
Please schedule for outdoor events, yes.
Yeah, great, great, thank you.
Yep.
Okay, does someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
I will.
Ken, second? John, all in favor?
Bye.
Okay, thanks, everyone.